Okay.
Yo, what is up, guys? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 2, episode 11, actually. So, like I told you guys, I was actually going to, do an extra episode of the Cloud9 podcast this week, actually, because of all the off-season rumors for this 2021 off-season. So, actually, we had a interesting video posted by Travis actually just a few minutes ago before we actually went live, and we're gonna go over that actually. So yeah, Sean, what did you think about what we just saw? Because that is absolutely disgusting.
Oh
I gotta reply to
yes.
this for a work thing. Just give me 1 second.
Holy yeah! 6 minutes before we went live, the whole C9 news with Travis Gafford broke about their rumored roster in the off season in 24 hours. Holy yeah! I literally just DM'd everyone saying what the fuck there when got leaked. Oh my god! And my computer is like slowing down. Can you still hear me? All right, you're calling some. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay,
as you
there.
guys
I'm
are
fixed
like,
now.
as you guys already know, Cloud9 is very, very accustomed to quote unquote losing the off season.
Yeah.
Now, I don't even really understand why they would role swap him to mid unless it was a player decision actually, because Blabber and Fudge had okay synergy, like Blabber did, go to Fudge's lane a lot, during the entire year of 2021. He really didn't have any good synergy with Perkz actually, So is this better long term? I really don't know
We'll have to wait and
actually.
see. Whether this turns out or not, I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, this looks actually pretty exciting, but if you're gonna have to rank this on paper, no, this is probably like a fucking fifth
Uh,
place
uh,
roster. Like, come on,
yeah, no,
let's be honest here. This is probably like a fifth place
I'm
team.
more disappointed by them by the bot lane and them out of old top laners importing fucking Summit. Hold on,
Yeah,
I'll post
yeah.
Summit's recent stats. Just go look at that or screen share it. He has really not done that. And it was the same thing with summer 2020 or whatever when Yamato Cannon was their coach. He had high games, but then other games like very low quality games. Like I don't know if he's really a good weak side top, which they might want him to be. I don't know. I didn't watch him recently. I'll be honest, but yeah, I'm more
Mhm.
sketched out by that. Like if you're
See,
looking at his stats, especially those
I'll
last 3 games.
I'll say this: I haven't got a chance to watch all of the live because he's still on Live Sandbox, right? That
Yeah,
currently
well, he
still,
was
right?
recently cut.
Yeah. So back when I used to watch the LCK, like let's say last year, but no, I'm just fucking with you guys. So Summit was actually pretty darn fucking good, And then in like about what was it 20? Because Sandbox entered in like what 2019, same year as Damn One, right? He was actually pretty solid actually. And then he just started kind of regressing, not playing as good. But to be fair, he is also on a bad team as well, I just don't really know who made the roster decisions this time around. You know,
Holy,
like
this
like
is
I
the
really
type of thing
just
I
don't
do in a
know.
fantasy.
Like the issue here I have with the roster is there's just so many. There's so many. How would I say it, guys? I'm not trying to stamper my words. Okay, so think about it this way. There's so many variables added. So like it's the same thing people had when they talked about the Fnatic roster in the LEC 2021 summer split when people role swap from top to jungle, right? But this is a bit different though because this is a mid lane switch. Like there's a lot of decent things you need to know about mid at like the highest level though. Like is Fudge actually going to be a good mid laner though? Like this is absolutely just something I don't even know they thought about. How is he going to compete up against Bjergsen if they want to win a
I
title?
don't know, but
Not
honestly, I
well.
think this could actually work. So I made some point. I'll just like read off the replies I was saying like in the tweet below. Uh, if my fucking Twitter would load. God, my internet's been kind of shit day. Okay, so basically, Fudge is probably one of the most versatile players in NA, if not
Mhm,
the. And like this year at Worlds, like like every game besides one, which was a
mhm,
lot, like 15 or whatever, he played all different champions. So he's very versatile, and we all know about his, adapting to,
mhm,
stuff, and improving.
mhm,
All right, and most of the champs that he played in top lane and that he's
mhm.
best at, the majority of
Yeah.
them, you can also play in mid lane. And he's the type of guy that you give like resources to, invest in him, and he rarely
Yeah.
disappoints. He'll like carry. And what was the other thing?
Mhm.
Yeah, he also roams a lot, honestly. When he fixed his laning issues, which he's now great at, he started roaming a lot around the map, which is good if you want to be a mid laner.
So this is what I'll say. Like he definitely improved over this year as a top laner, right? Came
Mhm.
in pretty iffy and then pretty much was basically Cloud9's best player all
Yeah.
year
Also,
actually.
another thing, yeah, he also has actually great chemistry with Blabber. That's actually where Blabber got his best ganks off when he was with
Yeah.
Fudge in lane. So this could actually, for all these reasons, this could actually work out really well. Like again, I'm
Mhm.
more iffy on like keeping Sven and starting Isles and importing Summit. I'm really iffy with those moves, honestly, over this.
And like that's the thing is the roster has so many what's that word I'm looking for?
Yeah, well,
Not
this
even
was like
variables. It
2020.
look at it this way. There's so many potential issues the roster could have. For one, non-English speaking player. So when it has to come to
I mean, you might speak a bit of English.
like you gotta kind of factor in-game communication, that's gonna be an issue, you know? So he's gonna have to get accustomed to America. He's like, because we know this has been a problem with like some import players, is like, especially
Yeah.
from Korea, they have an issue adjusting after a certain period point in time. Not initially. Initially, it could go very, very well, right?
Yeah,
But
well,
like as happened before, there could be like I think Jack described it on an episode of the Crackdown he was on about Dominate. It's like a
yeah,
culture
definitely.
shock kind of thing. So it might look like it's gonna work out in Spring Split when people don't
Yeah,
try
that's
as
what
hard,
happened with
right?
Perkz. Couldn't adapt.
And
And
then
I
like
knew I had
yeah.
a feeling that something like that would happen. I just thought he would at least stay 2 years because in every interview in the past, he talked about how he's just not suited, and like he doesn't feel at home in NA, like has like
Mhm.
issues every time he goes to NA, and that he also like feels lazy in NA. So I just had a feeling that would
Yeah.
happen, but
And that's my thing with the roster that we're gonna go over is there's a lot of issues that is definitely gonna come up that a lot of people won't bring
yeah.
up, but I do think it has some upside to it, you
I
know?
just don't get the summit, like the summon and the Sven moves. Like there are so many great tops they could have
Mhm.
imported. Like I know not all of them or the majority of them are available, but like I showed you the stats. Summoners, like maybe he actually was just like a fantastic weak side top this year on Live Sandbox. Like I definitely know the issues with Live Sandbox and with effort and stuff. So maybe, and I also saw a lot of jungle pressure and bot lane instead, but I don't know. I look at his stats just on paper without watching any games, and I'm not too impressed. I mean, I do think he knows like some English because I pretty sure I saw like interviews and stuff when Yamato Cannon joined Live Sandbox in summer 2020. I believe it was. I believe he like understood him talking mostly. I believe, and it was mainly like Gorilla. Gorilla knows English. I'm pretty sure their support at the time. Uh,
Mhm.
think he like could
So
understand him a bit though.
so my thing here is you have Summit who like could be a very good player toward the end of the end of the year, depending on how like the culture in C9 go, the coaching staff, and how they're going to interact with him, depending on like what champions he's going to be on versus like his competition. Blabber, a lot of people just straight up love this guy, and it's like I don't hate Blabber at all. Like I've met the guy, pretty nice dude, good player, obviously, but like I don't know why
Um,
Cloud9 just chooses to luck themselves. I don't know why organizations, at least in the LCS, just choose to just lock themselves into a player without
I don't
potentially
know.
just like
I mean, I'm
looking
willing to give
elsewhere.
him one last chance,
That's what
Blabber.
we said this year. We literally said that this
No,
year.
no, not this. Not for me, at least. Like, I thought he just had one bad. Like, he did bad at MSI, and he had like one week split in summer 2021. But he was good in spring
He didn't look
2021. I
that
thought.
good in the other 2020 summer split either. After like a few weeks, he just looked kind of bad. Like,
Yeah, well, he was good in spring 2021, and
yeah.
he avenged him. He redeemed himself a bit at Worlds,
Mhm.
so I'm willing to. And they just had like bad chemistry, him and Perkz. So I'm willing to give him another chance. Like, if he does the same this year, then yeah, they need a new jungler definitely. But willing to give him another chance. Like, I
I
need to
I would
watch
argue
Summit's games.
I would argue they need a new jungler like now, but to be fair, they're keeping Blabber, they're keeping Sven,
Yeah,
and
but there's no options.
I know people are gonna be like, well, where's Vulcan? Guys, it's rumored he's going to EG, you know?
It's already
So
pretty much done.
this is what I'll say is it's like I could see the potential upside in the team. You know, I could see it where it like all the stars align. My dad comes in my life. I start having sex with Scarlett Johansson. But guys, this is real life. This is real life. And this is where like shit hits the fan sometimes. Like, so yeah, you have to kind of factor in there's like culture shocks that happen with people from different countries when they come to America. This is with any country. That's not just obviously North America though. If you go to another country and you're there for so long away from home, you're gonna have some sort of like culture shock where you feel alone, you don't feel yourself. That's what I think would happen with Summit eventually. Blabber has been super inconsistent, but like high highs, best jungler in the league, low lows, worst jungler. Fudge, I don't know how well he's gonna play mid. Yeah, he's probably spamming it right now in solo queue, and he might look good in solo queue, but I don't know how that's going to translate to the stage, right? And you also have Sven. Sven also looks like the best AD carry when he's on point, and then also looked like Sven this year, where he was, actively running it down almost all year, running
Uh,
down at Worlds and running down all year long.
just the
So
bot moves piss me off the most. Uh, I mean, what I will say though is they could make a change later on, and if it like doesn't work out as well in
to be
spring,
fair,
sort of
you're
like
right.
with
They could
because
just
a
switch
hundred
rosters up in
thieves
spring, in
they could
summer.
because
Yeah,
like 100 thieves did after spring last year because Blabber's a resident, Fudge is a resident, Isles is a resident, and I believe Sven is gonna because he's played in NA for 4 years now, so
yeah.
I believe that makes him a resident unless I'm mistaken. But I'm pretty sure like they'll have like one extra import slot either now or after spring. So if it doesn't work out, they could make a change, yeah, in like jungle or something.
Yeah, to be fair, I know a lot of people might be freaking out with this roster, for like the LCS 2022 spring split. But guys, factor this in. They do have the lock-in tournament, right? So the lock-in tournament could be a very, very good way of building synergy. And depending on how they do in the lock-in tournament, that's a good, clear indicator of like how strong the roster is. And I know lock-in doesn't matter, but I think for this roster it will because I think the lock-in tournament for this year in 2022, if they have the lock-in tournament, right, will actually show you the potential upside to what the team could have, and then could also show you like the downfall the roster could have as well. You know? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're just, yeah, man. I'll get to him right now. Just give me one second, okay? Oh, but yeah, what's up, Ziak? How you doing, dude? I bet C9 tried acquiring tenacity from 100D, but fell through. Yeah, like for this, people gotta understand for the off season, like sometimes other rosters, or sorry, other organizations just do better. Some just don't. Sometimes it works out really well, sometimes it doesn't. And remember, like it was very early on, like all of the best mid laners started getting eaten up. Bjergsen going to Team Liquid, Niski probably not going to play from what he said. Jensen not going to play from what he said. Though I wasn't really a huge fan of, you know, um, Jensen going back to C9. I'm not really a huge reunion person, actually. Not a huge fan of that at all. But it has worked out some cases, and it hasn't worked out in some cases, though. You also have the other mid laner, Humanoid, who is rumored to be going to Fnatic. So like during the off season right now when I was covering it, I kind of knew they weren't going to have a substantially really good mid laner based off of, what we have seen getting eaten up actually. I would have preferred Power of Evil mid, honestly. I'm still a huge advocate for that. I think that might be a better option long term than Fudge, but Fudge actually has shown he can definitely improve, and it's possible he could be a top 5 mid. And by top 5 mid, it depends on the competition already, right? Because you have to kind of factor in there's a ton of other players that are much better than him already at mid. It's like whatever his ceiling is at mid, it's gonna be pretty much shown in the locking tournament, though. And by ceiling, I mean the ceiling for what you're probably gonna see for like the first 5 weeks of like the LCS 2022 spring split actually. So yeah, I hope it's something that C9 has thought about, because it's they've always had this meme where they basically lost the off season, and I don't really know what happened this off season. I really don't know because it looks like they just wanted to keep pieces of the roster that they've had success with. Blabber, Fudge and Sven, and they were willing to put Fudge into mid because they realized, Perkz brought in a lot of highs with the team, but he also brought in a lot of lows as well because Perkz actually, he played pretty bad this year. Perkz was pretty awful mid this year, like having Niski would have definitely, been an upgrade actually. So, if you guys are watching this obviously live, you probably think we're making this up. No, this is for fact. This is like literally truthful statements right here. Hold on. I think I shared my audio. Yeah, I don't think I did. Here we go, right here. So here we go. Let's watch this.
Well, it's the night before free agency, and I have multiple sources telling me that C9 has decided on what their lineup is going to be. Now, obviously, things cannot happen until free agency begins and signatures can start hitting paper. But as we've seen previously, EG and Team Liquid supposedly locked their rosters. C9 has now locked their roster expectations ahead of free agency opening. Their roster will be Summit top, Blabber jungle, Fudge mid, Sven ADC, and Isle support. So yes, you just heard it. Fudge role swapping mid so that Summit can come in. We will see how things go after free agency opens and people can sign, because it's kind of weird off season. We might see some last minute movement, but as of now, that seems to be what C9 will be running next year. And I'm very, very confident based on the number of sources that have been telling me this. So pretty big moves over at Cloud9. We will see how things go. And excited to see this lineup play next year if everything goes according to plan. Well, it's the night before free agent.
Okay, definitely did not want to hear that again because it still blows my mind actually. Also, if you're watching live, I don't know where Sean went. I think he's dead actually, or he's getting sucked up by a girl. One of the two
I was just
things.
letting you talk.
Oh no, you're fine, dude. Let's see. Can you look up Summit's stats for his recent splits?
Yeah,
Yes, I
I
can.
sent it to him in a private chat.
Give me one
just
sec,
screen
okay?
share it.
It's not that they locked themselves, it's that they aren't any good options at all that don't take up an import slot. That's possible.
True, because they missed out on the package deal. That would have been great.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say they missed out. Maybe they just chose, obviously, No, because like I wouldn't believe anybody would go like, I don't want Bjergsen or Hans Sama. Like no way, it's not a thing.
I would have taken Kana and Niski. Well, not if they want to do Fudge mid lane. All right, if Summit is not a weak side guy, then yeah, I'll take Kana. Like if they got Summit because he's a good weak side guy. He was on Sandbox. Like I don't know if he was. That's why I want to ask anybody who actually saw him more in summer 2020 and just all of 2021, because I don't know if he's
I haven't seen much of his games from 2021 actually. I've only remember his games from 2020. Yeah, they were okay at best.
Yeah, if he's a weak side guy, then it makes sense. But looking at his stats and the champions he played, I don't know if it actually is.
Wait, wasn't Isles a top laner? I don't remember much of him. Me neither, actually. And he wasn't that good of a support either. Like I've watched the C9 Academy games. Like I do watch Academy from time to time, and I wasn't really that impressed with him.
He's like the Santorin of supports at best.
like I wasn't that impressed with him. I wasn't impressed with most of C9 Academy like this year. Darshan, obviously not good. Surnfire, not good. Like people might say, well, why did they just bring up Academy players then? Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. That probably was going to be the worst option. They need to do that. You would need better Academy options, you know, or even having someone like Hanser in top lane would not have been that bad though. But he's rumored to be going to like what? I think FlyQuest actually, if that rumor all pans out. So it depends on like a lot of things when it comes to mid lane though. Mid lane is one of the most key essential roles to how any team does during a year. It's very very shown. If you don't have a good mid laner, you are going to not do well. So it just depends on how Fudge does mid lane, because let's say like Isles actually is a really good support. Let's say he is, because out of the games that I've seen him out of Academy, I wasn't too impressed. But let's say he is good with Sven, right? Let's just say he is. Okay, so if Fudge is bad at mid lane, they're still going to have a massive, massive problem, because if he cannot compete with the other mid laners, it's going to be an issue. Now,
I
who
know
is
this is like the
Cloud9's
Golden Guardians experimental
experiment?
roster in
Yeah.
2020. Like
Mhm.
even if like a couple of them worked out, there are still like way too many like projects for it to work out fully.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I would have predicted them to make playoffs that year though if they didn't have Keith support.
They made playoffs, remember? Yeah, they did. They
Yeah,
got
yeah,
knocked out in the
but
first
yeah,
round.
I
Yeah, it
would have
was
predicted
horrible.
that because I knew they were underrated. FBI, Golden Glue, closer hold them, but they had Keith support. I knew he would run it down, which he did. So I didn't predict them to make playoffs. But then they swapped out Huhi. If they had Huhi to start, I would have
Mhm.
predicted them 6. But anyway, continue.
No, you're fine, dude. It's the thing where I could see how this roster could work out. Like if Summit plays to the heights that he had when I first saw him, I could think that's an easily top three
Well, he just
top
needs to
laner.
be
I
like an
think.
impact. I don't know if he can though. Like well, I'm not too impressed looking at him right now.
This is what I'll say here. Role swaps have been a lot more common now, that I've seen throughout these years, actually. Maybe they've seen Fudge mid lane and they're like, dude, I got to have that guy on my team over Power of Evil, you know?
Well, I would take that over Power of Evil, actually. I
I
didn't
don't know
want
about
him.
that. I don't know about
No,
that.
I didn't want him. I don't like Power of Evil. He's a good. He's like a lower. He's like even a lower tier version of Niski. You don't win with Power of Evil. He's good,
You
but
mean you get to, I mean, dude, Power of Evil's been to multiple finals in this
yeah,
last
but you
past
don't win
years.
with him. He's good, but he's not that level. Even Niski's on that level instead of him.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, I truly think Power of Evil's a good player. I think you're sleeping on my boy over there.
A good player for like a team that gets like 4th or 3rd place at best.
LS has a lot to say about the doubters on Fudge Mid. Check his Twitter if you want.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for him to tweet that shit after that. Yeah, he's huge Fudge supporter, as he should be, because that's the one thing else has a brain on.
And this is the thing is, guys, I'm not saying it can't work out. I'm saying it's people who are gonna believe one of two things. It's gonna be the worst thing ever, or they're gonna believe it's the best thing ever. There's gonna be no in between in this, right?
Like no, I think it definitely can work out as I
Mhm,
mentioned earlier on the stream, well, the
mhm,
reasons. But even if that mid thing works out, which I do think it will a
mhm.
lot, like it's still like Summit's still not the best player. Sven is still not the best player who they should have replaced. Isles doesn't have the highest ceiling. He really is he's like at best like if Santorin was like a support, that's pretty much Isles for you. Like it isn't not the best roster even if all these things work out.
Because, like, let's say it pans out a little bit in their favor, right? Blabber on his best day could be the best jungler in the LCS, right? Just LCS standard, right?
Mhm.
Summit might, at worst, be a top 6 top laner. At worst,
Yeah.
right? Maybe, depending on how the other top laners
Yeah.
perform.
He's like the
Fudge,
Korean Hanser.
Fudge might be a top 6 mid laner. Maybe. This is me, maybe,
Well, I mean,
right?
who would you rank better than him? So
Anybody
there's.
that's played mid right now, because they've
Well,
proven to me they can play mid lane.
well, okay, so listen, we have Bjergsen on an LCS roster right now. Then we have
Yeah.
who else is on an
Abadage.
LCS? Abadage. Who else?
Jizuke's probably going to be on Immortals, right?
Okay, who else?
So those I would say would be
Like,
automatically
Power
better
of
by
Evil and
far.
Jensen
Power
are
of
out.
Evil, Power of Evil and Jensen might be out, but for sure Jensen might not be playing this split.
Well,
TSM
I don't
doesn't
know
have a
why
mid
he
laner right
wouldn't
now.
be.
The EG's running. EG, I'll give you that. They're running a new guy.
Okay, if CLG actually doesn't like play Jensen or Power of Evil, that would just be hilarious. Like,
do you think I don't know if Jensen or
like
Power of Evil will join
who was the
CLG.
room? So they said they're
sorry,
gonna do
sorry.
Palafox.
Yeah,
on
if that pans out, yeah,
Are
they
they
might
on
actually do
drugs?
Palafox.
Are they on drugs? Like what the? And they let go of Finn. That's the one player they should have kept.
They actually
Unless
should have tried to keep that guy.
I mean, if he
I actually
wanted
thought Finn
out,
played pretty
then
well. Actually,
I mean,
I
did
thought Finn
Finn
played
want
pretty
out?
well. Probably. Let's be honest. Here.
Okay,
Who wants to
then
be on
well, if he
CLG?
did, then yeah, they can't help it. But Finn, Contracts, and Luger are all great pickups. That would have been a great team. Like if you didn't see Luger in Academy, like he was definitely the best ADC in my opinion.
He was
Like
a good player. He's a good
yeah,
player,
he's
actually.
definitely LCS. He was LCS ready last year.
The same thing with Golden Guardians. They wanted to play Prismal, but they might be getting lost from TSM. Actually.
Oh my god. Okay, look, Prism. Okay, listen, Prismal. Honestly, he deserves a chance, but he isn't even that good.
Was
Then
he
I
on
don't know why.
100 Academy? Actually,
I don't understand why they didn't play him with Chime in summer. But anyway, if they take Lost over Prismal, though, holy fuck, I'll jump out my fucking window if that happens.
Are you the White Warren?
Holy fucking shit! Why would they? And why is Chime not getting a chance to own GG? Well, why are he was very good in summer, Chime, and that was his first split. He was on the same trajectory as Vulcan. He's young, he's growing. He was actually very good, dominant looking, and considering the shit roster he was on, why didn't they keep him? He's like one of the better young supports in NA right now that could grow. And especially over the player they're planning that what really they're gonna get Ole back? Are you fucking kidding me? They actually said that Ole's gonna make a return on GG.
That's just bad. Golden Guardians are making bad decisions. You pick one. So this guy says
and GG would have been great.
So this guy replied to one of Fudge's tweets. He says, I don't really know a lot of NA player, but is this really an upgrade? Perkz and Vulcan were the best player. And Perkz was not the best player, I'll tell you that right now. And Blabber, Fudge, Sven, the worst at Worlds. This guy says, of course is a downgrade. People only know Fudge through LS promoting him.
Okay, that's bullshit.
That is just bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, LS does promote him. Yeah, they're friends and they aren't streamed together.
That's what a friend
what are
does.
You talking about?
That's any friend
would
do
do what
that.
Are you talking about? They only know him through. Are you fucking high? First off, everybody knows him and he played great. All right. They all knew where he came from. All right.
They got exposed at Worlds for how shit they were compared to real top laners.
Okay, first off, he said they.
To be fair, a lot of top laners at Worlds 2021 were bad. Were absolutely bad. This was the worst year for top laners, though. I'll say that. I mean, if you've watched the event, you would know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying. Anybody that's watched Worlds 2021 knows all the top laners were pretty fucking bad, actually.
How shit they were compared to real top. So he learned some English, buddy, firstly. And that fucking handle gives me cancer. Look at all those numbers. The no profile. God, Benny. God. Anyway, the Benny Hill. That's fucking where you should go. To the fucking asylum. God damn it.
Will be worse if he moved to mid, because he will get slapped in all sides with the amount of talented mids in the world.
Okay, first off, the mids in NA right now, on all the teams aren't looking that great. Alright, shut the fuck up. Alright, if Jizuke is like the third place right now, then that's not that great. Alright, secondly, what the fuck are you talking about? He was actually one of the better tops at Worlds this year.
He's actually one of the better tops at Worlds. He actually played fine, you know?
Yes, it was Ole or whatever.
Dude, I had Ole and Flandre in my all-pro teams because
it was pretty much Ole, Kana, and Flandre, and Fudge. That was pretty much like that, and there was one other. There's one other I'm forgetting about right now. Yeah, Zaihu. Yeah, those are with a 6. So yeah, he's like at least like number 6, honestly, with how they performed. Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Nah, but my question is it even strong enough to get to Worlds? It can contest to make it out of. Okay, this guy's sniffing fucking crack. It can contest to make it out of groups, if I'm being honest. Then we'll end up like Western teams who get knocked out 3-0 in quarterfinals. People think they're going to get to Worlds with this roster?
Oh shit, you said they're going to make quarterfinals. Wow. Thanks for the compliment, bud. Wow. He just shot himself. Look at that image. Look at the close-up of that image there. Go back.
Go back? Yeah.
You need to show it on stream. You showed it on the one that ended, but yeah. That is hilarious.
Don't worry, G2 Perkz. If you're bad, I can play mid lane. Whoa, shit.
Oh, Lord.
Because, all right, guys, let's be honest here. Perkz did not play that good this year. If you have Perkz' dick this far in your mouth, all the way right here, Perkz did not play that good.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he carried, the road game, got them the quarterfinal. Okay, are you high? The team setting up the carry on LeBlanc, and he literally ran it down like 4 separate times with his leads, almost losing them the game.
We're talking about the same dude who played Renekton and went 0-4. The same guy.
In that road game, he was the reason it went so far because they setting up the carry and had huge leads, and then like inted 4 times.
Remember he jumped over the wall?
Yeah.
And distorted back and killed himself. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and the one time fucking on the beside the tower, just like went up front, fucking killed him. So I did that like 4 times during that rogue game when they had big leads and set him up to carry. All right, he's the reason why that rogue game went so late into the game.
And dude, that's my thing. Is it really that bad if they got rid of Perkz? So I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, why'd you get rid of Perkz?"
No, but
was he really that good? No,
no, it isn't a bad thing, but in comparison to,
I like Perkz a lot, dude. I've seen this guy's career ever since it started, essentially in competitive league. But
people who think Caps was better than him, you're sniffing glue.
I think he's better mechanically. He's better mechanically by far.
Yeah, well, better mechanically, but overall, no.
I don't know. It depends. It's kind of 2 sides of the same coin. It's like Perkz offers intangibles that Caps doesn't. Caps offers certain things that Perkz doesn't. I think there's a reason why it worked out really well with them. But the thing here is like, I don't blame Cloud9 if they weren't going to run Perkz this year. Even if Perkz loves being an NA, I'd be hard-pressed to believe if they actually would have ran him because he really didn't play that good. He really played like not that good, honestly. Like the amount of money they spent on him initially did not kind of cover, I guess, like overall things you would have wanted. Like, yeah, they won Spring, they got to MSI, they got to Worlds, they got out of groups. I mean, if that's what they're paying for, then sure, but that's not worth the amount of money they paid him for, So this is going to be a lot more cheaper and hopefully a lot more effective. But I wouldn't say this is going to get them to Worlds. Like, that's a stretch right now because Worlds is next year. We'll have to see how the entire year plays out. I'm not even thinking about Worlds right now for next year. I would assume this doesn't get you to Worlds because this looks like shit. Like literally 100 Thieves, if they keep their roster, looks way better than this. And whatever the TL roster looks like is going to look better than this. There's no one's going to tell me that the TL roster and the 100 Thieves roster, or even maybe the EG roster probably would look worse than this,
Yeah.
His win rate on it is like 80% though.
Very Blabber fucking jungle gapped inspired.
So I looked over Summit's champions across summer and spring LCK, and it seems like he's almost a NAR 1.
Yeah, no, I looked at it. He played a lot of the same champs.
Mm-hmm. But remember, this is one of the things with a lot of people that they don't understand. Not you guys. I'm just speaking in general. Is if a team thinks that's the best way to win, that's what they're going to put their player on. But to be fair, it's like they think that for a reason. They have an idea that you can only be good at this, so they put you on that. It's one of these like double-edged sword mental tricks, actually. So like, yes, it is a team choice to put a player on that champion, but through scrims and through practice against other teams, they see that is the only effective way of winning. So they put you on that champion because that's the only way they're actually going to win games. So my thing with the roster, also you have Sven. Sven is also at the same amount of issues that Blabber had. Also, it's not even just the roster, because if you guys have watched the recent Summoning Insight episode, with Monte Cristo, Thorn, and Sven and Richard Lewis. Pretty good episode, actually, right? But, obviously ours are better. But Sven talked about how they had a lot of issues with Mithy, and even said, I'm not making this up, it's said in the video itself, where he was like, Mithy was, I think he basically said Mithy was uncomfortable with him as a person. That's just some bitch-made female shit right there, if that's the thing.
Wait,
Like,
what? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Who said what?
So Sven said in the recent Summoning Insight episode with Thorn and Monty, right, that they had some issues between Sven and Mithy about how they wanted to play the game, and it came to a point where Mithy was uncomfortable with Sven as a person. And when he said that, I'm thinking to myself, what a bitch! What a straight up bitch! Like, what? That's some female shit right there.
Yeah.
Talk it out. Like, these are the same players that were apparently arguing a whole shitload when they were on the G2 roster, and they won a bunch of splits there, but are now arguing this much on the Cloud9 roster. It's like,
holy fuck! How many years have they played together, and now they're arguing? Like, oh.
Now he wasn't uncomfortable with it. Because to be fair, like this was when Sven was more of a rookie, quote unquote, when he first met Mithy. So he's obviously going to listen to him more. But later on, he grew into himself as a player. And when he said that on the Summoning Insight episode, I was like, going, come on. Like, if that's true, come on, Mithy. Stop being. That's literally some baby shit right there. I'm uncomfortable with this guy. He talks up to me. Like, what the fuck? God, yeah, fucking God. People are so fucking sensitive, man. But like, if Isles and Sven can be a good bot lane, that's a plus for them. Because like on Sven's best day, I think Sven is like the best ADC in NA on his best day, right? The same thing goes with Blabber, but that's in the jungle and the AD carry position, though. To really do anything in the LCS, it's not just about having players. You need some decent level players, right? If Cloud9 win the split with this roster, or even make the finals with this roster for the LCS 2022 spring split, that would be something. That would show you how bad NA is if they can fucking go to the finals with a roster like that. And this is also depending on how the roster plays, obviously. It's all depending on how the roster plays. Remember, I'm saying this right now, pre-context to the split that is going to be played.
Look at the rosters, though. What could happen?
Yeah, NA has been very known to have some pretty dog shit rosters, actually.
Yes.
But I think you're smoking crack if anybody tells me that Team Liquid's roster or 100 Thieves roster or even EG's roster is actually worse than them. That is literally, you are sucking some hard dick right there. I think.
I mean, EG maybe. I mean,
because EG, well, they have new. Are they gonna have Danny? Or because
they have Jojo Pion. You know, he could collapse. Fudge could beat him definitely 100%, and at least for the short being. All right. Impact. I mean, who knows? He has had off years a lot of times, like 2019.
He looks really good. The previous split, though, he looked like an MVP.
Yeah, but he does have off splits, like 2019.
Yeah.
Summer. Inspired, got out jungled by Blabber at Worlds. All right. Danny. I mean, people could be overhyping him, and then is Ignor staying?
No, they would run Vulcan, actually.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, I mean...
Danny Vulcan might actually be one of the best bot lanes, actually.
Yeah, that's what I wanted with Cloud9 heading into the offseason before any rumors started. I'm so fucking pissed they have it now.
I think just a lot of people just, like, fall in love with players, though, when you're a fan of the team. Like, people just legitimately fall in love with the players, though. Not like love, like, I platonically like these people, though. Like I platonically love these guys. No, fans legitimately are in love with some of these players, though.
Yeah, well, what am I supposed to do with my Vulcan jersey now?
You keep it or give it to me?
Oh, God. Yeah, I have like a jersey of fucking from Oldham, from the 2021 roster.
So for me personally, guys, to kind of sum up my thoughts, I might make a solo video explaining some of my thoughts further, but this is just so like if I'm going,
I think it can work. The mid lane one, I think it can work.
If I'm going off of like, let's see, let's pan it out a couple of ways. I could see the roster doing well, give or take how NA looks this LCS 2022 spring split. Now I'll say this too. I could see a world where they don't make playoffs. It's very possible, right?
Yeah, I could see both worlds. EG
know?
could be overhyped with the reasons I said.
Every team could start off
Yeah.
bad. What if, like, dude, it's very, very possible Cloud9 have like good synergy, and the
Yeah.
summit issues don't
That's what
apply.
happened in 2020.
And then guess what? They actually, win every single game. They look like the best team in the league.
Yeah, well, that's what
But
happened in 2020. They had a
Mhm.
lot of ifs with their roster.
There's a
then,
lot of ifs
and
going
then
in that
they
one.
had,
Yeah.
and then they had great chemistry.
Mhm.
How that first split was the best team in LCS history, pretty much. And then let's not talk about summer. Let's not talk about summer. Summer
Bruh.
never happened. COVID shut it down. Worlds didn't happen that year either. They just gave it to Dam one, for fun. All right. Let's not
Bro,
talk
I don't
about
get how
that.
C9 always hard loses the preseason. So I'll say this: if they have the 2022 lock-in tournament, if they have one for this next year coming up, that's a good indicator of like
Yeah.
what their level could potentially be versus like their worst.
Mhm.
It's just all these variables, guys. There's a lot of variables to go
Yeah.
because I know a lot of fans are gonna go, it's gonna work out because I believe it's gonna work out and it's all gonna come together because the
Yeah, because it
stars
happened
will
other
align.
times, which means that you can't criticize anymore because it's just gonna automatically work out
Yeah,
now.
but I told people
'cause-
though that's not always a thing though. Just because it's happened doesn't mean that this specific time it'll work out either. People just like to swing
Yeah.
so far into the other ways. I hope Fudge is a good mid laner. These are all hopes. I
I
think
think he can be.
I think the Cloud9 roster on its worst day, if things pan out even-esque, I think they'll be like maybe depending on other rosters too. Because remember, this is before all these rosters get like figured out, and we do our LCS 2021 Spring Split Power Ranking. Sorry, LCS 2022 Spring Split Power Rankings. I depending on how the rosters go, they might look like they're a sixth place team. I'm not even kidding, people. Like it's very possible they're probably
Yeah,
like
there are a lot of
6th to
teams
4th
doing
place.
experiments as well that could work out. Like
And that's good.
look at FlyQuest. Look at FlyQuest for an
Mhm.
example.
What are
Alright,
they gonna
like
run? Like Johnson, Aframu,
yeah,
Hanser.
Johnson. Well, no, I think they're doing Jenkins over Hanser. If they pick Hanser over Jenkins, that would just be depressing. But
Yeah, because Jenkins didn't all look good either. Dude,
yeah, but look,
Castles
they
are
have
really
that
hyping that
EU
guy up.
Masters guy or whatever coming in. He could pop off. So I'm saying, like, there are other teams doing experiments. So could be. But yeah, EG could be overrated for all the reasons I mentioned on the stream. And here's the thing: 100 Thieves not making pretty much any changes from what I hear. All right, who he could
Except
be
they might have
overrated.
the they might have the tenacity
Yeah,
thing, but
Closer didn't play well at Worlds really. Abadage in like the second half of the split in
I
summer.
thought Abadage looked great for them.
Oh yeah, in the first half he was MVP material. In the second half though, he fell off.
falsed off a little bit.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit. Closer didn't do well at Worlds. All right, who he could just be getting carried by FBI. FBI didn't do too well at Worlds either. They're keeping Sunday. They're gonna run tenacity with him as well, from what I hear. Like they're not making any changes either, so people could take advantage of that. So 100 Thieves, EG might not be as strong as people think. So in that world, Cloud9 could get into the top 2, make finals. And if
If
the other teams
Cloud9
don't
make
work,
finals with this kind of roster, I don't know. Depending
could
on how the
happen.
LCS looks, depending on how the LCS looks for the 2022 spring
Like,
split.
has there ever been? When's the last time that a
They
Cloud9
actually
roster
haven't
didn't make
finished any.
finals?
They're
I don't think it's
for
ever happened, has it?
what? For what actually?
No, because look, 20. Okay, so 2014. Sorry, 2013. They won. 2013 they won. 2014 they won and made finals. 2015
2015 summers.
they made finals. 2016 they made finals. 2017 they made finals.
They'll make a
Yeah,
they'll make
2018
finals.
they made finals.
Yeah.
2019 they made finals. 2020 they won. 2021 they won. Right? They haven't missed finals like 1 year in at least one of the two splits.
They'll usually always make a finals in a spring or summer split. And like I'll say this though, even if the roster doesn't pan out, they'll make roster shifts mid MSI pre LCS 2022 summer split. That's gonna be a thing too. Like just because this is their roster right now doesn't mean it's gonna be their roster the whole year though. Fnatic definitely showed us this past year that if it's not working out, orgs are like if your org is smart enough, they're willing to change things out. Like if it doesn't work out, I could see them swapping out some things, doing some different shifts actually, so I'm definitely surprised. It's definitely surprised me, but yeah, let's go over a few of the comments, and then we'll go on to the next thing. I see TL and 100 Thieves competing for first, C9 and Ichi competing for third/fourth. TSM, I can't even put them in the combo yet till I see the full team. I'm really happy that we have a more competitive atmosphere now compared to the previous years where you would know who the top 3 will always be. Now we have a lot of good teams.
Well, except for the fact that Team Liquid looks way better than everyone else on paper at the moment.
On paper, they're probably going to win the split. On paper.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, at least we're not TSM. At least we're not getting tactical. At least we have a mid laner now. All right. At least we don't have Huni. At least we have a support right now. All right.
Cloud9 always makes finals somehow, even though they do weird offseason moves like this. Yeah, they'll make a finals. They usually always make a finals, give or take of a year, you know? But just because it's happened before, like we said before, doesn't mean it's always going to happen. But I hope it happens, though. Like, I just think they're not going to be anything better than potentially, like, Fourth is also saying a lot, too. But that's also depending on the LCS roster, because some of the LCS teams do some really, really off shit, you know? Like, there's some, like, the fact that Dignitas were in the conversation as much as they were, you know, this year was saying something. I'm sort of going like, what? You know, like, but to be fair, Dardoch actually looked like the MVP, you know, like earlier this year. I thought Dardoch looked better than Blabber actually earlier this year, but, you know, Dardoch didn't pan out that well because Dardoch never pans out because he's absolutely crazy, you know? So, but yeah, guys, let's go over some of the comments from that video that Travis put out on his YouTube channel, actually, because we love how Sean just rails through people in the comment section. Sean just actually just rages at people half the time. Holy
well, on Twitter, yeah. I want to slam some people. It's fun.
All right, let's go over some of the Twitter comments, actually, and then we'll move on to the next thing. It's all C9
I'm not
episodes
slamming
tonight,
anyone on here, though.
I
was just responding to someone, you know. Oh, wait. Oh, you're talking about YouTube. Oh, yeah, I do slam them here sometimes, yeah.
All right, so this guy says Fudge Factor bringing his talents to the mid lane, and I'm looking forward to it. This guy seems like a huge cocksucker.
I think I'm actually like hidden on my main account by Travis Gafford because I, you know, shout on Double If too much because he's his buddy. You know, when he was saying some bullshit and being biased. You know?
No one talking about the Chokemaster Sven is still even on the roster. Any highlights you see of this guy is him throwing games. Doggo or Reckless would have been nice.
I would have taken one of those.
Doggo or Reckless would have been nice. Not sure if Jack tried if they were both just too expensive or if something else stopped those from happening.
Well, they could still get them.
Also possible. I heard Reckless buyout is insanely high. Yeah, it's like 1.5 million. No loan option either. Carlos is just he's a madman, dude.
Yeah, and no, you'd have to do it to 500,000. Buddy.
And I don't think Jack feels the need to buy a player who wouldn't be too much of an upgrade, nor that would stay a long time, similar to the Perkz situation, though. Reckless buyout was 1.5 million euros confirmed by Carlos, G2 CEO. Yeah, you said Carlos. I'm pretty sure I know who G2 CEO is. Thank you for putting that extra layer there. Considering they paid 5 million USD for Perkz, 1.5 million euros isn't that much. Yeah, to you, because you're broke as fuck.
Considering that was actually worth it, while Reckless like
would not be worth this.
Yeah, he's a toxic fucker, and who knows how well he'll play. Like, he's a mystery. Like, no, that's totally different.
I know
and
we
plus
talked
the
about
brand
this too.
in with Perkz as well. That's why.
And I know we talked about this too. Guys, I know Reckless won the MVP for the LEC 2021 Spring Split. Guys, there was
I don't know how he did.
There was many, and I mean many, better players that were MVP quality compared to Reckless, though. I'll just give you one. Treats was a MVP player over Reckless.
Yeah, he just won it for narrative reasons.
Literally just narrative points, though. I'm not saying Reckless played bad that split. I'm just saying there's much better options, though. Most of you guys even agree with me, too. I mean, I'm not looking for validation, but it shows we're seeing the same things in a player, though. Treats, literally, to me, because I voted of MVP for the LEC 2021 Spring Split. Are you going to tell me Treats was the MVP over Reckless? Look at what Reckless has to play with versus Treats. Just factor that in to yourselves, actually. You know? And Reckless I think he's a good player, but Reckless also offers very little for what you could be taking in like problems to your team. Factor this into yourselves. Caps has played with Reckless on two of the biggest orgs in EU. He left one time, and then it was rumored that he wanted to leave if they didn't get rid of Reckless, actually. And then they kick Reckless to keep Caps, though. Caps was like, nope, not doing it ever again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, no, I'm done. Get this guy the fuck out of here. There's obviously something, though. Factors in, G2 is arguably, and by not arguably, it's definitely still there as a factor of right now when we're doing the show. G2 is still by far and away the most successful EU LEC organization, right? By far and away,
No,
right?
because Fnatic won Worlds. Yeah, because everybody won. Well, yeah, you count season 1, don't you?
Like if this guy's trolling me. If
Yeah,
G2 themselves,
tournament.
if G2 themselves don't want Reckless, this is G2 we're talking about, right? This is G2 we're talking about here. If G2 themselves don't want Reckless, that says something.
Yeah.
They literally opted into him because he was an upgrade over Perkz. And I know a lot of people said, Reckless should never have left Fnatic. When he did it, it made sense, though. People need to factor this in, too. You can't just look at, how things played out versus how they were shown to you. It made sense in the context of that period point in time. It just didn't work out because Reckless just has a lot of issues that no one likes to bring up, though. Factor this in. Caps played with Reckless 2 years, right? They made the quarterfinals at Worlds 2017. They lost to RNG, right? They made MSI that year. Next year they won both splits and they got to Worlds Finals of 2018. Caps leaves. Caps, the best player in the West at that moment in time, left, went to the rival org.
Yeah, well, he got poached, so that doesn't count.
And then with the rival org, won everything. Without Reckless.
Can't believe that went through. They literally poached him. Fuck that.
Under the table, Perkz was like, come on, Caps.
Yeah, kind of fucking, whatever, Carlos getting away with tons of bullshit. They're like the Blackhawks in hockey.
And in fact, factor this in, people. Caps wins everything in EU 2019, 2020. Granted, they do have the best players in every single position, but they do win everything, right?
Well, they shouldn't have won anything in 2020. Holy fuck.
Then they went to MSI. They won that. They got to good God, are you getting fucking blown right now? I think Sean's getting blown by his girlfriend, actually. And then, so they got to Worlds 2019. They made the finals. Then they made Worlds 2020. They made top 4. They did have the easier draw in moving Genji, but factor this in. Reckless and Caps reunite, and Reckless and Caps reunite. They win 1 best of 5. They win 1. They only won a single best of 5 and was against Schalke. That is disgusting.
Oh yeah, the Schalke that went 10th place in summer. Congrats on winning the Reginald Award, guys.
What's crazy, dude, is they actually should have lost that Schalke best of 5 too.
They should have, yeah. They were better. It's just their fucking the bot lane just fucking ended.
They won, guys. I'm not even shitting you. Go look at the games, or actually look at the results. This is the time when you look at the results over gameplay. Also watch the gameplay too. They win 1 best of 5 against Schalke in the LEC 2021 Spring Split playoffs. They don't win a single best of 5. They lose to Rogue. They lose to Mad Lions, and they lose to Rogue. Then it's the LEC 2021 Summer Split. They lost to they had to play. Yeah, they lost against Mad Lions and they lost against Fnatic. They won 1 single best of 5, and the best of 5 that they won was so bad. They just looked so bad in best of 5s. I'll say this here: Caps did look good in playoff. Caps looked good in playoffs. He looked terrible in the regular season. So they just had a lot of issues. I don't know what the issues were, and I'm not scapegoating Reckless either. I'm not saying it's all his fault, but Reckless just didn't vibe with the team. You could tell he didn't vibe with them. You can see the stuff in off-season content. Maybe if these things will tie up, So I'll just say that. We'll go over a few more comments and then we'll go to the next thing, actually. Okay. How holy cow. Can't wait to see how Fudge mid goes. I legit thought you were trolling when you said they had a new top laner. Then you said Fudge mid and I started laughing. Then I read the comments. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So let me make this a bit bigger for you guys watching, obviously. Maybe for the people at home. Give me 1 second, actually. My honest opinion is that people in the League of Legends community seriously overrate the composition of the roster. Yes, a team consisting of players like Caps, Gumayushi, or Khan is always going to far better than a team of mediocre players. But if the difference in raw talent isn't significant, how a team functions together is going to matter far more in the end. Time and time again, a team of superstars has fallen short while a team with lesser names on paper succeed. That's also not true. That is not true. This C9 roster does look strange, but if it can work well as a team, they can win. That's not true because at Worlds, it's very, very clearly shown if you don't have like the best players in a lot of positions, you lose. This is when I'm not just talking about group stage. At Worlds and MSI, when these events matter, the grand scheme of things, right? If you don't have the best players at these international events, you are going to suck. This is known. Yes, sometimes a team with lesser players does better than you expect.
Yeah,
But
which
that's
happened this
only
year, so it's
regionally.
recency bias. It's because
Yeah,
it happened this year.
And that kind of concept only happens in regionally. At Worlds, when has it ever been a time where underdogs have actually won anything?
EDG.
But they're all like, but they did win the LPL though. You know, they were underdogs in the way that you look at like the better teams, right? T1, Damwon, right? FPX, they panned out, right?
No.
But like, even if you look at the EDG roster that won Worlds this year, right? Flandre, pretty fucking good top laner, right? Scout, pretty fucking good mid laner. Viper, like the best ADC in the world. They had the best players in key positions that you need to win, right? People, or look at the IG roster that won. They had the Shy, arguably like fucking Faker of top lane at his peak, and they had Rookie, arguably one of the best mid laners ever. Look, every single roster, except like in more recent times, even start with the season 3. Season 3 Worlds, right? Faker, best mid laner, won the tournament. Season 4, Pawn, best mid laner, won the tournament. Season 5, Faker, best mid laner, won the tournament. Season 6, Faker, best mid laner, wins the tournament. Season 7, Crown wasn't the best mid laner, but they had Ruler, who was really, really fucking good. They had Corey JJ, who was really, 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 really good, won the tournament, right? Season 8, Rookie in the Shy, wins Worlds. You see a pattern I'm building here? When has lesser names won anything? At Worlds or MSI when it matters, though? Never. It's literally never happened. I'm talking to events that actually matter in the grand scheme of things, right?
Yeah, unless you want to count like 2012 Worlds. Fuck.
So like I think people like conflate the two, right? If it happens domestically, that could be a thing. Domestically, yes, that could be a thing. But I'm talking like Worlds and MSI. I can't really think about Worlds right now for the Cloud9 roster because it's literally just like, fucking way too early right now, So this guy right here is going, okay, let's see if he got replies. Exactly. People don't understand this. They all think TL is going to roll all of the LCS with ease. These people are stupid. I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things, though. In the grand scheme of things, when all things play out, should the TL on paper, you're gonna tell me right now the TL roster is gonna be worse than that C9 roster? You're out of your mind. You'd be a crazy man to say that. You literally have to be nuts to say that, though.
Well, I mean, Fudge will, kick Bjergsen's ass because, he's
bigger.
Amazing.
He's a giant man. Yeah. Exactly. People don't understand this, though. They all think TL is going to roll all of the LCS with ease, and no one stands a chance. LCS is at the point now, like you said, where individual talent gaps aren't that massive. Yeah,
what?
Sure, dude.
What?
Sure.
Yeah, CLG. Okay, CLG's winning. Let's go.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Paula Fox, Paula Faker. Let's go.
The teams that gel well are the ones that stand out. Just because they stand out in the regular season doesn't mean shit. I have faith this roster will compete for top 3. Oh, I'm not reading none of this. That's just straight up smoking crack.
Wait,
actually
he said
smoking
top
crack.
3?
That's crazy.
No, I think they could.
That's capping hard.
What do you mean?
I don't even know what the
100 Thieves or EG could collapse, and it just takes one of those.
But then you could just say it the other way. What if they don't collapse and they just, because they have the better roster. People gotta factor this into long term. They even have the better players though. So even if it just works out for this spring split, okay, what about in summer split if it doesn't work out for them? Okay, now you're just stuck with worse players in a lot of positions, and the better teams with the better players are in the better positions than you. To be fair, it's a lot of hypotheticals though. I think it's a hypothetical battle. But I want to cover a few more things before we head out of here tonight. Just more Cloud9 stuff. Weird how let's call it a Cloud9 show. Named Cloud9 a Cloud9 podcast. There's a lot of Cloud9 topics tonight, actually. So I know, Sean, I wanted to ask you this. I don't think I asked you this last year, or at the beginning of, which was, what did you really initially think when they brought Perkz in? Actually,
Well, when they brought in Perkz, okay, so before when he was on G2 anything, yeah, fucking loved him. Like best Western player of all time, definitely. I would say people who think Caps is you're smoking drugs, all right, taking drugs, all right. Now heading into the 2021 season, like I was hyped when they made that announcement. Definitely did not see it coming, especially when they made that announcement earlier on that they were keeping the roster together, than the OCE stuff and everything. But yeah, so I was hyped for that, all excited because it's Perkz. But I knew heading into the season though that he would be definitely great, and at the very least in spring he'll be the best mid laner, which is the whole reason why they got him. But I knew he wouldn't be like as good as the hype says, like carrying games and stuff. I knew he would like have some struggles and stuff, and like looking at interviews and everything and adjusting. Um, so I did have like more realistic expectations. Like the thing is, so a lot of unless you're Chovy, I hate when like people say like, okay, so this player has to carry or for it to be worth it. It's like in League of Legends these days, you don't really get those players anymore. Like besides Chovy, all right, like you pay for these players with that type of money. They get the best player in your league in that specific role, which they did with
yeah.
Perkz at the time. All right, they knew I knew going in that he wasn't going to be like a carry. Like fucking plus you haven't watched Perkz if you thought that. But yeah, so
Mhm.
and for me the expectations, yeah, I say achieved because he was the best mid laner in my opinion, at least for most of the season,
Mhm.
and they at least made it out of Groots, which was the expectation at least. So I was
Yeah.
happy with it, but I am disappointed he only stayed 1 year. Like I get how it works and stuff, but if you're gonna take like that huge deal, I'd
Mhm.
expect you to do at least 2 years, like multi years. Like I think 1 year after that is kind of but at least so like Cloud9 made their money back though, and it might be better in the long term though with how he played at points. And I will say that the exception is if it's like because of like family stuff or personal reasons, which it was, so more understandable. But yeah, that's my take on it.
So that's my thing here is, I could see why it wouldn't have worked out either, because like people got to factor in the coaching staff has a lot of personalities on where it could clash, right? Because you have Mithy as well, and I know a lot of people won't bring this up though.
He
Is
isn't good.
Are they going to replace the coaching staff? You
Oh
know,
wait, I have heard nothing about that.
yeah, like
They
is
need to replace him. Holy fuck.
I just can we put Rainover back in head coaching? He was getting progressively better with his drafting phase and how his players wanted to play the game, you know? And I just didn't really like Mithy wants to play a game a certain way. He's been very, very open about that. All of his teams seem to play the same way. They play very reactionary, very slow, it's just it's just all of the Mithy teams do this really though. You know, I just would hope they potentially get a new head coach or just a new coaching staff in general. Maybe. I mean, I think keeping Vagar V2 is fine. I haven't really seen much wrong he's really did. I would say still keep Rainover, but let's say Mithy's drafts leave a lot left to be desired actually, That's just me personally. All right, guys. Cloud9 ended up finally officially parting ways with Perkz actually. You know, there was these parts I wanted to go over. Let's just go over it right now. Yeah, my audio sharing.
Even if he's griefing the game, like getting caught over and over again, he still has fun. He's like laughing in his chair, giggling to himself, saying like, "Guys, it's still free win. We can't lose. Don't worry."
He really showed us and he showed me that he cared about winning.
He really helped us. Like he really stepped up when we needed him. Like for our game 5 to qualify for Worlds against TSM.
He still be positive regardless of a negative event happening.
When you play with one of the greats, you learn a lot. Yeah, I'll miss him a lot and wish him the best in Europe.
They can gank me, but they can't shut me down.
And the favorite memory is lifting the LCS trophy, the first bit I got there. I mean, also like on the like making our groups. That was actually maybe that's even more. Actually, I didn't even think about it. I think beating EU in a tiebreaker to make it our groups might just be a more favorite memory than lifting a trophy. But it's hard. They're pretty close. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite titles. I think this time around it was just like a whole different atmosphere, environment, culture that I had to adapt to. So I think it just showcased my own personal ability to do such things instead of, I guess, the circumstances I'm surrounded with. I felt like I could make an impact in those series and playoffs, and that felt good, yeah.
Rival and Team Liquid, they won the regular season. They stayed in the upper bracket. And Cloud9 are your first ever mid-season Showdown champion.
And after this, summer played out. well, MSI 2021. Then summer played out, though. Actually, it's gonna obviously suck. Not having Perkz, but I just don't think he played that well, though. But to be fair, it's not always just about playing well. It's also about what Sven said as well. It's all about the other intangible things that make up a good League player. Because League, at the end of the day, it's pretty much all a mental game too. And like I did agree with Sean as well. Like unless Chovy, Showmaker, like hard carry players like that are kind of hard to come by now. It's a thing where it's like Perkz is better as a leadership figure, than overall as a mid laner. But there's been splits where he's been a really good mid laner. But it's like, I don't know. People were expecting something they, were not going to really get, right? And then they didn't like what they got and were very, very mad about it.
Yeah, they're shocked by the money, but orgs have this money these days, right? They don't pay for these type of players with that money to get like Chovies. There's none of those besides Chovy these days. That's the only player like that. They just pay it to get the best player in their role in the league. And they did that with Chov, and they did that with Perkz. Oh yeah, K-Dots could join if he wants.
Cat knows nothing about League, actually.
Oh, well, I mean, that would be funny.
That would be funny. He's like, what is an LCS?
No, I want to see him, like, fucking react to, like, these names. Like, what the fuck is a Perkz? Oh, God.
I mean, the year has been definitely, like, turbo weird for me. Like, everything was closed in LA for a good amount of time. We were also like kind of quarantining as well in C9. We were very strict. There was workouts that you had to attend for a team bonding, which I kind of understand, but I had problems sleeping.
EU fitness,
lol. In my life, I had like on occasions problems with sleep, and was struggling with like I guess the stress or like the change, everything around that. Obviously, change of team culture, team atmosphere, playing with different people, having to learn again mid lane. I mean, which I know how to play, but I still have to learn again, to get really good at it, get really good at my laning phase, or get really good at knowing what I have to say for my team, because each team is different. And this year was definitely a big personal challenge for me. I mean, besides that, I definitely miss being on the same continent as my family and my friends. So even though I got used to time zones, I still think the distance is very felt. And I'm at the point of my life where, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm old or something, but I'm getting to the point where I'm mature enough to know that I don't want to build a life or career for myself in LA. My life belongs to Europe and to my, like, I want to live in Croatia sometime in the future. I don't want to like move to LA, and Berlin is pretty close. And I've been there the most of my growing up. I mean, like the most important years, like from 17 up until basically this year, I was there, and it feels kind of like a second home there. And then, of course, the big part is just being closer to where I come from. And yeah, so moving forward, I will not be playing for Cloud9 next year. This is a decision that I've come to not on result-based analysis, but basically on what I said and more personal and private stuff, right? So, which I actually told to Jack about over a month ago or something. Jack has been very supportive.
Didn't one of his parents die?
Very understanding
Dad.
of my reasonings, and he's actually been yeah, very nice to me, very kind. Definitely, it would feel really bad if we didn't make the groups, considering the
If it was
investment
TSM,
Cloud9
dude, be
put
like,
into
no, you fucking staying, bitch.
Yeah. Like, this is what I'll say here. Is if you keep a player that doesn't want to stay, your roster will most likely implode, like that TSM roster did with Sven. You know, where they kept him when he was only really here for mid, actually. You know, so generally it's better to let a player go if they don't want to be there, because why would you want to keep someone that doesn't want to be there anyway? Though that inherently would cause issues. You know, that inherently which is going to cause a bunch of issues, though. You know. All right, let's finish this, and we're gonna talk about the third thing, and then
I
we'll head
just
out of
have to
here.
say though, I
Yeah.
can't believe how can EU fans not feel just embarrassed for defending that season 1 world championship, saying that it's a real worlds win? How can you not feel embarrassed saying, "Oh yes, we won in Freak's basement. Fuck yeah."
this year, getting me out of the G2 contract jail. So I'm definitely very grateful for the opportunity given, and I'm very happy that I had a beautiful staff and team built around my coming over here. Well, not really, I guess, around me only, but I feel like Jack put a lot of effort into making a team good for this year, and it's just been, honestly, it's been a very nice ride. I think C9 just literally gave me everything I needed or wanted. They've taken care of me very well. I think it's been very fun to play with everybody and learn new perspectives in the game, new personalities.
No one
Fudge
knows
is
secretly he's
great
like, fuck Sven.
at self-improving.
It's so crazy how many titles like Perkz and Sven have won together. God damn, so crazy. Yeah. EU fans like to brag about winning season 1 worlds. It's like, you ask anybody who won the first NBA championship, no one knows that shit. Barely anybody knows.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's just kept for history reasons. Nobody actually holds it to any value. Just like most regional titles. It's good for like players just to have it on their resume, but that's about it. And just for fan service.
He's gone a long way. Blubber, he didn't die to crab this world. This is like
God.
insane.
Wow.
It's been pretty fun to play with Jasper again. I've known him for a long time, so it's been an adventurous ride. And for Vulcan, I hope that the next time we see each other at an event, maybe you can beat me in chess, because there's.
How do you not like this guy? This guy's amazing, man.
I love how he barely said anything positive about Sven, or didn't. He just said, "Nice playing with you again."
Oh god, dude. Like, anybody could tell these guys had issues. These guys had major issues, you know? Sven said it was because it was really hard to talk to each other, because of like all the clashes. I mean, this is probably better long term if they don't have all these issues, but is the newest roster not gonna have issues itself? We'll see.
No proof right now, but we all know that I hold the higher record, so it's honestly unlucky that it's like the circumstances. Like, if Sinem was in EU playing in the LEC right now, I would probably not be sending this video to you guys, but it's just what life is about, and my path is somewhere else. And yeah, I'm definitely very grateful for the adventure. I'll never forget it, obviously, and all the people I've met and had fun with this year. And yeah, I'm just super grateful for the fact that all of this was possible and given to me. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, at least they won something. At least they got out of groups, and at least they won a title.
It did pay off in the end, because the goals were at least win one of the splits.
Go to MSI again because they missed out in 2020.
Yeah, go to MSI, yes, because just do the first time ever or get that out of the way. Make Worlds, and at least make it out of groups, and make your money back on Perkz, or even make a profit. They did all of that. Wish they did more, though. They still wanted to do more, though, after that, but we didn't get to, but whatever. It did work out in the end, I guess, but yeah. Unlike the fucking CS:GO, holy fuck, that 6 million down the drain on CS:GO for that one like 2 games out of like 50. Holy fuck.
They always index.
Colossus.
You know what's crazy?
Colossal.
I don't know shit about CS:GO, but I know they won that major that one time. They've never been able to create a roster like that ever again. They've
Oh yeah,
always put in
that was
CS:GO.
amazing, that major win. Holy
Wasn't
fuck.
the one we had the meme of like, no, you're not crying, I'm crying, shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't cry because it's over. Cry because it happened.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, guys, I'll do a video on Teddy leaving T1. Imagine Teddy leaving T1 and they keep Sven.
God, I would take him. Why can't they play together? Why couldn't it be?
You know what's crazy? If they're over here indexing Korean players, why not just take Teddy?
Yeah, why couldn't they take Teddy and Kana, and then Fudge mid? Yeah, that would be a good roster.
Sword Art may be the biggest waste of money in League history. Well, because like, dude, let's kind of factor in Perkz. Kind of served his purpose about the money he got, because even Alfari, I know he didn't win anything, but he made a finals and he got to Worlds, at least with TL, and having not made Worlds for like a while, right? Even Alfari, even though the money wasn't truly justified for what he got, at least that went somewhere, you know? Sword Art just went nowhere. That was like nothing.
Yeah.
It was like absolutely bad, actually. Let's see what else is here, because we have to talk about that G2 and Perkz. The Perkz G2 Cloud9 contract, actually. You know.
Yeah, I don't know the most about like I haven't read into it too much. All I know is that how did that go through with Riot? What the fuck? That is actually so illegal. And secondly, Carlos, shut the fuck up. So you're literally just making it worse. Like, I hope they fucking sue your ass now with the shit you're saying in defense. Shut the fuck up.
God, like, yes, it seems kind of cool that he did that, because you know it's just like where you get the one up on your rival, but it's like, how do you want to get the one up on your rival that hard? Where it's like him leaving G2 automatically means that if he wanted to join Fnatic after he left Cloud9, then how's that a bad thing though? You know, because like, it's easy to say, guys. So he would leave G2 to join Cloud9, right? Then at that point, it's nothing G2 can do, you know? But Carlos had a clause in there, you know, where if Perkz, or if like Cloud9 end up selling Perkz to Fnatic, they could have got like sued or some shit where like he couldn't join Fnatic for like 3 years. Don't worry, guys. I'll have the article in just a moment. Give me 1 sec, actually. Let me go over. Let me go to Jacob Wolf's tweet about it, actually, because I'd rather explain it all in contextual form, because I was supposed to have this out you know, on last episode, but I actually was really busy and I kind of forgot, and plus this offseason has been really crazy, actually. But here, I want to show you guys this, because it's going to be something you might want to know about. I mean, the news of this will come out anyway. Jacob Wolf has a pinned tweet on his Twitter page. The 2021 League of Legends free agency show is returning November 15th at 6 p.m. ET. So that's basically 6 p.m. ET, which is what, 4 p.m. PST, right? Actually, 6 p.m. ET. What is that? 6 p.m. ET. EST to PST. But that's 3 p.m. Monday. So yeah, 6 p.m. PT. So yeah, I'll definitely, if you want to know where most of these rosters are gonna end up landing in the players they've been trying to sign, definitely check out the free agency show. These are always fun to watch, though. Whenever they drop enough news in concession form, I do a ton of videos.
Wait, you said
covering
ET,
all of it.
Wait, you said 6 p.m. ET?
Yeah, so that's 3 p.m.
Okay. Yeah, 3. Yeah, just it's 3 hours later.
So should we do a live watch party to all?
I mean, I'll be awake for it if you want.
I'll probably.
I had to ask you, were you planning to do any other movie reviews or streams later this week?
This is my last week to do anything free, because next week is just, I'm not doing shit. Next week is just purely pre-recorded content. No, and one live stream.
I might be busy. I might be busy at some times on Thursday, just to let you know. Like, I'll probably be back by around 10 to 10:30 p.m. on Thursday, but be busy from like around 5 and stuff.
Let me go down further and see where is the.
Yeah, just look at my Letterbox account. If there's any films that I watched on there
I
and
want to watch
reviewed
porn movies.
that you wanna do a review of, that
Here
we
we
don't
go.
have to do a watch party for, then we can do it. Just look through my account there. And I mean, hey, but speaking of that, even though you're joking, Letterbox did 2 months ago literally add adult films to their site. I'm not just so yeah, literally. So we could if you want.
Hey man, it's always possible.
They literally did. I cannot believe I literally made a joke to people saying, watch them add adult films before they add video games and ongoing TV shows to their site, and then they literally did that 3 weeks later. My jaw fucking dropped.
All right, guys, here we go. This was the article that Hamza wanted me to go over. Right here, sources: G2 and Cloud9 allegedly colluded to prevent sale of Perkz to Fnatic, but Riot investigation finds no harm. Perkz will be moving to Team Vitality this offseason alongside Alfari and Karzi. Written by Jacob Wolf.
I mean, technically they didn't because they allowed it, but it's fucking stupid.
Two of the most popular teams in Western League of Legends allegedly collude to prevent the sale of a star player, but both have escaped punishment after a top level. Oh my God, sorry. After a top level Riot Games investigation determined no harm was done to the player. Sources tell .esports. A clause in G2 Esports and Cloud9's buyout agreement signed in late 2020 for Perkz prevented the team from selling him to Fnatic for a period of 3 years, beginning in November 2020 and lasting through the end of the 2023 season, according to a copy of that buyout agreement obtained by .esports. Fnatic filed a complaint with Riot's LEC office over the past few weeks, asking them to investigate the clause, sources said. Riot's LCS department previously approved the G2 and Cloud9 buyout agreement after it was signed in November 2020. The issue was alleviated to Riot's global esports department, given the involvement of the teams in both the LEC and the LCS. Following the investigation, Riot Global determined the clause did not affect the star mid laner's team options for the 2022 season. Sources familiar with the investigation told .esports. Riot Global found it did not impact Perkz' 2021 through 2022 offseason prospects due to disagreements between Fnatic and Cloud9 over the cost of the buyout and Perkz' desired salary. Perkz will instead join Team Vitality after Cloud9 and that team came to an agreement, sources said. Perkz will join a Vitality team who is also acquiring top laner Alfari from Team Liquid in a separate buyout and signing former Mad Lions AD carry Karzi to round out its roster, according to sources. Perkz and Alfari's move to Vitality was first reported by Esports Manicals. Moving forward, Riot will not allow clauses of similar nature to exist in future agreements, according to a source. Riot, Cloud9, and G2 Esports declined to comment on November 10th. G2 founder and CEO Carlos Ocelot Rodriguez Santiago spoke publicly about his decision to not sell Perkz' contract rights to Fnatic ahead of the 2021 season in a December 2020 talk show with commentators I Will Dominate and Thorin. Imagine Perkz would have ended in Fnatic. What happens right after is a whole Fnatic team renews, Rodriguez said. Do I want that? No. But because I want to have all my options open. Does that make me a bad person? Go fuck yourself if that's what you think. So you're incredibly fucking naive if you think that you can build a world-class number one team that fights for trophies by letting everybody. It's just not going to fucking happen. Rodriguez later reiterated that statement in a September 2021 tweet. Perkz to Fnatic is quite possibly the single trade I would go out of my way to never allow to happen, he said. Because the thing he brought up was, Fnatic is G2's biggest rival. So it makes sense sports-wise not to sell your best player to a rival org.
Yeah, but then why would he fucking lie saying he wouldn't do that?
That's what I don't understand, dude. I don't know.
No, he's just backtracking. Fuck off. He was okay with it before, but now it's this stuff happened. Now he's gonna bring it up. Shut the fuck up. I don't believe anything he's saying. All right, he's just fucking whatever. He's just being a hypocrite.
Perkz to Fnatic is quite possibly the single trade that I would go out of my way to never allow to happen, like Messi to Madrid. If a player we bench wishes to join any European team, I don't know why I said TSM, Galatasaray, or LPL team, we will gladly trade him. We haven't blocked shit. But that is a contradiction because I don't know. It's a weird contradiction, but not a bad one though. But like him not selling Perkz to his biggest rival and biggest competitor, that makes sense sports wise, right? That does make a lot of sense. But he should have never said that it was like Perkz can go wherever he wants. That's where he fucked up at.
Yeah, and plus just that whole it's just that's not how it works. So Carlos, you don't get to do that stuff with contracts. It's stupid.
Yeah. And I don't know why the LCS, don't they have lawyers to like see these contracts?
No, you don't want that to happen, Carlos. Then yeah, just don't sell them.
And
to Fnatic, sell them to Cloud9.
This is the reason. This is one of the reasons why the esports industry is kind of like still naive. That shit like that can happen though. Don't the LCS have lawyers to go up through like these contracts?
And the double lift stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all the reasons why that TSM thing in 2020 does not count, that's just the biggest one. All right, it automatically is revoked, that title. All right, in the history books.
Precedent for a buyout restriction of this nature does not exist in League esports, although it could violate the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1980 in the U.S. due to it restricting trade. Legal jurisdiction over this particular case would be unclear. However, since Cloud9 is based in the US, G2 is based in Germany, and Fnatic is based in the UK. I don't know why they go through all of this stuff, but sure. I guess they're making some okay. Antitrust law differs in each country, though there is significant history around similar cases in the US. In the 80s, MLB owners were accused of colluding to lower player contract lengths and prevent players from changing teams without the previous team's consent. In all three instances across the 1985 through 87 seasons, an independent arbitrator sided with the players. MLB owners paid a collective $393 million in damages over multiple years to the players for their grievances. Buyouts in esports frequently do not operate the same way. They do in traditional sports in the NBA, MLB, and NFL. When a player is bought out or traded, their existing contract and its terms and salary are signed directly to the purchasing team. In esports, a buyout often results in the termination of the player's existing contract and the negotiation of a new deal between the acquiring team and the player. In the case of Perkz, Cloud9 negotiated a new contract with him in November 2020 after agreeing to buy him out from G2. That deal consisted of a 3-year term and was worth just shy of $9 million total, according to sources. He was the second highest paid player in the LCS behind only former TSM support Swordart, who signed a 2-year, $6 million contract in November 2020 as well. Perkz notified Cloud9 of his intention to leave the team in the later stages of 2021 season. As reported by .esports last month, he preferred a return to Europe to be closer to his family after he was unable to travel back to Europe as much as anticipated during the COVID-19 pandemic prior to Cloud9's Worlds 2021 quarterfinal matchup against Gen G on October 25th. Perkz informed his teammates that he wouldn't be returning to the team in 2022. Update: as of November 10th, 5:53 p.m. CT, the LCS Players Association announced via Twitter it is independently investigating the circumstances of this report and will fight any agreement that illegally or unethically restricts player movement or alters player bargaining power. All right, so the LCS Players Association is a joke. They're full of shit. They ain't about to do shit. Anybody that knows this knows what I'm talking about.
They don't do anything. Listen, their fucking game dev don't know how to balance anything. All right, of course their lawyers are going to be shit as well, and this has been happening for years.
The LCS player org is full of like former players, right? But they've never done anything. When this was announced, people asked like, what is this for though? They're like, oh, it's to help newer players and understand like what their contracts are signing in. That's why you get an agent for that. There's plenty of more well-qualified people for that. Like even when this was announced back when the LCS announced it was franchising before 2018, I was like, this is stupid. The LCS Players Association is a joke. It's dog shit, and it's never done anything. It's literally crap. They ain't about to do shit. So if you guys hear anything about the LCS Players Association, just pretend that doesn't even exist. Because it really doesn't exist.
Yeah, and it's just mostly with TSM players. So that's why it's so dog shit.
TSM players get to do pretty much anything, actually.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, guys, the last big thing would be, as we talked about before, Vulcan to Evil Geniuses. I mean, let's be honest here, guys. Like, the players on the Cloud9 roster had a lot of issues. Vulcan himself didn't play that well. Like, you guys kind of factor this into it's not just the stage games that we see. Remember, it's scrims, solo queues, stage games, playoffs. Depending on how far you go, then you have to do it all over again for summer. And then you have to kind of factor in this is a long stretch of also not playing well, you know, for like a lot of the players in the Cloud9 organization. The Perkz not playing pretty much well all year. Vulcan not pretty much playing well all year. Blabber not pretty much playing well all year. Sven not pretty much playing well all year. Like, I don't see why people think they should have kept him. Like, yes, he has a high ceiling, and I get that, but that wasn't shown almost all of this year. So why would you keep him? You know, it just makes sense to obviously sell him, though. You know, I would have personally taken Danny over Sven, but obviously Ichi's not selling Danny. Like, come on. Like, after he made that play against 100 Thieves in that...
Yeah, I was really hoping that would be our bot lane, but I knew it wouldn't be.
You know? It's that thing where it's like, how would anybody assume they would just literally keep the same players? Is beyond me. I know people in the Cloud9 Facebook group, they're like, yeah, well, they were actually making fun of people that said that it's a... So I propose that we just change the roster because it's not really working too well, despite the Worlds results, because everyone was smoking high after the Worlds results. They got out of the group, right?
Yeah,
Like,
listen,
okay, look at it this way.
Discord. I left the Cloud9 Discord because I could not stand the stupidity in that. How they were literally attacking me because I just brought up the idea of maybe replacing other players.
Yeah, like, dude, in the Cloud9 Facebook group, I like a lot of those people because they're nice people. But like, let's be honest, you guys, just because the roster might do well at a certain point, that doesn't just erase the bad that happens either.
If you think Sven shouldn't have at least been replaced, you're a fucking drugs. All right.
This guy was going back and forth. He was like, "Why would you want to replace Sven?" I'm like, he played bad. Like, are we watching the same games here? I swear, some of you got. Some people don't be watching
you
the same
can
games.
upgrade it. Have you ever heard of upgrading? How are we supposed to get anywhere? And they make changes every year outside of 2014.
Every team makes changes every single year.
Yeah, besides 2013 summer, the 2015 spring, they made changes.
You know, like, I just don't get it with some people, though. Why are some people so attached to these players, though? It's not like you're their friend. It's not like they fucking like fuck you or something. Like, you're not their girlfriend. Like,
and League of Legends fans are just brain dead.
Like, come on, guys. Players change all of the time. You got to stop getting so attached to some of these guys.
There's a reason why literally so many brain dead people are becoming top content creators in League of Legends for just the most like basic takes or like ideas, because like 90% of fucking League fans are just that brain dead. All right.
Like, I just don't understand how some people, like, how they get so attached to these players is ridiculous, though. And these are the same motherfuckers who say, like, oh yeah, I watch traditional sports. If you watch traditional sports, you just further make my point. They always change. They change every year. You know, they literally change every year. Actually, they'll keep like maybe one or two people, and they just start changing everybody else. You know, because it would be insanity if they ran the same roster back trying to get the same results. That's literally insanity. It did not work out. Move on. Cut your losses. It's over. It's done. And with that, guys, that was the special Sunday episode of the Cloud9 podcast, though. I will have another episode coming out later on this week, absolutely, to cover all of the big roster bombs that'll happen pretty much after this episode you guys see go up, though. So, yeah, man, anything else you want to say before we close out of this, actually? You know?
I mean, nothing really right now. I mean, next league stream there will probably have more to say. It didn't have much to say, honestly, outside of the recent Cloud9 news that just hit right before we were gonna do it. Just other than, yeah, fuck TSM. There we go.
Yeah, obviously, I'm a C9 fan. Yeah, I'm gonna root for them, but I'm gonna be realistic with you. I'm not gonna sit here and like blow smoke up your ass, do that copium shit. It's not. I don't use the word copium. crack. I don't smoke crack when it comes to these rosters though. I tell you just like
Yeah.
it is, how I personally feel.
Yeah,
I'm not in
definitely will
love with
say
these, I'm not in
Isles
love
will
with
be
these players.
serviceable.
Like I'm not in love with these players like some of you guys are. I don't love them. And you guys don't platonically love them. You were in love with them. It's a different thing. You are literally in love with these people. And you're literally insane if you think Cloud9 should have kept half the. Some people in the group suggested to me they should just run the roster back because they got out of group stage. So we're just going to ignore all the bad games, right? Get the fuck out of here. Like you're just actually smoking crack.
Yeah.
You're
But I will
actually
say,
a crackhead.
at worst, all 5 of these players on this lineup will be serviceable at worst. But will they? How many of them will be great? We'll have to wait and see.
Mhm. And that's it, guys. All right, so the next episode should be out Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, around that period. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how all the rosters are going to be panning out. Actually, you know.
Fuck. Next Sunday, you said?
No. This Sunday, this week actually.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, right. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then we might do an off-season live stream, maybe.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah.
There will be a couple of weeks where maybe we might take a break, but you know, then again,
Yeah.
who knows? We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'll
You know,
be
we'll see how it
awake at
plays
that
out.
time, so I mean, all 4.
All right, guys. See you guys later. Like, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. If you catch the replay, like, subscribe, and comment. Do all that fun
Dislike
stuff.
before they remove it.
Only if you're a TSM fan, because they're trash. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.